Hello, this is Natalie from Obon Cake. We're introducing a new product. This is the hot thing on the internet, and we developed an awesome system for you guys. This is the Hot Cocoa Bomb mold set. When you get a set, you're going to get 4 pieces. 2 hard, 2 soft, okay? So, what we're going to do, we're going to take our hard, and the soft fits in it. Before you start, you want to wash it in soap and water and dry it. Once it's dry, you want to condition your mold. You take a paper towel, you dab a little bit, I put canola oil on it, and you just, what's called conditioning your mold. You're basically polishing it to bring out the shine, so when you pour your chocolate in it, it's nice and shiny. So, the soft one fits in the hard one. And there's marks. There's like, you're gonna look for the little heart on the soft one, look for the little heart on the hard one, and that's gonna be your match. Now we have the mold set unpolished on the scale. What I do is I like to set my mold on top of a bowl on the scale. So I want to zero the scale looking like this. And the reason why I do that is because I want to feel, here you go, like when I put the mold directly on the scale, it wobbles around. This is why I set it up on a bowl so it's more steady. So when you definitely want to use warm chocolate as opposed to hot chocolate. So once it's melted, you set it on warm and you fill it up and you keep track of the weight. If it's a small, the 2.5-inch mold, you want to fill about like 22 to 23 grams of chocolate. If you're using the 3-inch mold, you want to use about 28 grams of chocolate. Once it's filled, you want to match up the heart, like the 2 little hearts at the top left, and set up your soft shell on top and press around to push out all the air bubbles and smooth around. And just you want to make sure that the chocolate comes up all the way to create a full shell with no air bubbles. And you want to help it a little bit by pushing around, shaking it, moving it around, just to make sure that it's all coated all over and there's no empty spots anywhere. So you just, flip it upside down, make sure the chocolate is everywhere, tap it around, shift it around, and then you set it up upside down. After you're done doing all this, you're going to put it in the fridge for about, I like to put it for about 10 or 15 minutes to make sure it's really, really cool. I took out my set from the refrigerator. It's been in the fridge for about 15 minutes. It's nice to make sure it's cool to the touch. And when it's completely, like it's got to be completely 100% cooled down. Flip it over. This came out gorgeous, okay? So this is the way, ideally this is the way I like to do it. Remove the soft one by keeping it in a hard one. Flip it over. Look how gorgeous this came out. This is why I like to fill it with this new amount. I think it's better with more chocolate because you get like a nice hard shell. It's not fragile. So I would rather put more chocolate to get this nice, it just feels sturdy. I like that. So we've unmolded our spheres. This is the 2.5-inch one, okay? So you can see the difference. This is 2.5, and this is the 3-inch. So you can see the difference. So when you want to make it, you want to make sure that you know what size bowl or mug is going to go into it. So this is quite large. This is probably the size that most people want, but I like big and hefty. So if it was me, I would take this one. But we're going to demonstrate with this one. So when it comes out of the mold, you can see the edges that are kind of like rough and they don't really fit so perfectly. So we want to smooth it out. So what we're going to do is I take my hot pot, I keep it on warm, and while it's warm, it's just warm, it's not super hot. I'm going to melt a little bit just to get a nice smooth surface and clean it up a little bit. So now it's nice and smooth. Just keep doing it until you get a surface that you're happy with. You do it for both. Make sure it's nice and clean, smooth. Just test it. Yeah, so this looks good. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave one aside there. I'm gonna take 1/2. I'm gonna fill it with hot cocoa mix. For the small one, I put about halfway. Then some marshmallows, like a good amount. I feel if you're gonna have something, just have it good, okay? So it's nice and full. And so now we're gonna glue this to this. I go back to my heat. I melt it. I'm gonna melt it a little bit longer just so I can get like a nice surface to stick. And then you want to press it together, not too hard because you don't want it to break in your hand after you did all this work. And then you wipe it off. And bang! Look at that, people. This is a good looking ball. So now, of course, since I decorate everything, we're going to go back and we're going to decorate this baby. But first, we want to make sure it cools down before we fuss with it anymore. So, yeah, it's good. I'm going to leave it aside for about 5 minutes. The hot cocoa bomb is nice and full. It's nice and strong. And it's glued with the melted chocolate that we did, okay? So I'm just taking a cake board. You can take a plate or whatever. Set your bomb however it wants to sit. Let's try to make it sit. It doesn't want to sit. If it doesn't want to sit, we're just going to help it a little bit. Just a dab. And let's help it sit. Okay? Okay, stay. All right. And we're going to go back to our chocolate. And we're going to drizzle. We're going to drizzle like this. Decorate it. Because you know what? You can never have enough chocolate. And then decorate. I add some chocolate sprinkles. There you go. And of course, I just went like all chocolate, but you know, the sky is the limit as far as decoration. You can theme it for the holidays, for your bridal shower, for a bar mitzvah breakfast. Really, the sky is the limit as far as decoration, but the idea is right here. And you have your bomb. And to present it, an option would be, if you want to package it, you just take this is a plain cupcake wrapper, but of course you can get a themed one. And here we go. If you want it to sit, you can do what I did at the beginning. Is just take a little dab of chocolate, just a little bit like this, so it sits and doesn't move. And here we go. Hot cocoa bomb 101. We are going to have our hot cocoa. So we made our bombs before, and we are going to have fun now. Okay, we check our bomb. So remember this thing, like it just comes right off the paper. It's great. You carefully put it, you don't want to break it. Okay, here we go. So it's inside your mug. I have hot milk here. And you slowly pour. Oh, look at that. Now let's wait for the explosion. Yay! Look at that. So all the marshmallows that came up to the surface. And we're gonna top this baby up with some yumminess. And here we go. Enjoy, my friends, a nice cup of hot cocoa made with the hot cocoa bomb.